Holy fucking shit. I realise I look pretty tired, but that's because I've been working some long hours. But the inner voice inside of me just told me that I should document the fact that what's disappeared over the last couple of months is a very, very insistent urge to scratch myself all the time. Yeah, like this and that. Don't get me wrong, I've still got a few of them. But the thing is, I have been experimenting with the ivermectin, and my initial results were obviously with anything you do when you're going to go for a cure, you are going to get worse before you get better. And so eliminating the toxins is sometimes more painful than just accepting them and letting them live with you. So eventually the process of elimination is always going to be far worse than, well, it's going to be a process you have to go through, because what's worse than not is ultimately where you no longer be alive. So when you look at the alternatives, everything is better. People say, oh, geez, you're getting old. It's like, better than the alternative. The alternative to not getting old is... So we all age. It's a part of the process. And we could call it oxidization, if you like. And there are some powerful antioxidants available to us if we so choose to go down that path. That's not for anybody to necessarily promote a certain antioxidant that they find works for themselves. You have to work this shit out for yourself. I've been working this shit out for myself, and that's why I didn't become a naturopath back in the day, because I realised that through people who did become naturopaths, that going down that path is actually going to get their minds programmed with certain mindsets. Like, you must have this nutrition, you must do this, blah, blah, blah. And it disagreed with me. So I think you have to work it out for yourself. That's the only way you will find a path to health. You won't find it through any guru or any health practitioner. You must be your own doctor. Your food must be your medicine, and your medicine must be your food, and that does not mean you should be eating pills. And it does not mean you should be drinking beer like this. However, there was a very good reason why the Egyptians fed all their workers, or slaves, beer instead of water, because water in its own right, in a nice, pure, clear running stream, is fine. But if you're talking about thousands of people that you have to give water to, it's going to be full of disease. And what we do today to treat that is to pump it full of chlorine or chloramines, which are effective at killing off a lot of the bacteria and to stop people from getting sick. But in the long run, they cause other diseases, other complications, sometimes even cancer. Not proven, but not proven. Whereas when you ferment sugar in the water using a yeast to turn that sugar into an alcohol, that alcohol actually is very antibacterial, which is why the Egyptians fed what's the word? That's why they drank. They gave their workers beer to drink. Because the alcohol is a far better decontaminant of bacteria than chlorine. And so, for thousands of years, many people have become acclimatized to the intoxicating effects. I won't even enter into that because I don't get very intoxicated. I get a little bit, just enough though to loosen up and be who I am. So because I drink my water, which is only 5% not water, and the other 5% is sufficient to take out the nasties that stop me from getting sick, I tend to be a reasonably healthy person. Plus I take antioxidants, which are taken in the pill form, as opposed to what I just said about Hippocrates, is that food should be our medicine and our medicine our food. Most of the food I eat, I try to make it medicinal as possible by chopping up heaps of garlic, ginger and turmeric into virtually every meal I make. However, in the mornings when I wake up and have a really strong coffee with heaps of honey in it, with turmeric and cacao and a pinch of salt, because tank water, you need to put some minerals in it. What was I going to say? Yeah, I take a little supplement. Astaxanthin is the one I take, or some people call it astaxanthin. 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 I think I might have spelled that right the first time for once. It's the little red algae that works its way up the food chain. Food chain? Fuck. Now we've got a food. It works its way up the food chain. It's not even a chain. It's just one animal eats one thing, and then the other animal eats that thing, and the other animal eats that thing. I guess you could call it a chain. But anyway, you're better off eating it straight from the source. So if you've got to wait for little shrimps to eat it, so that little fish can eat it, so the birds can eat it, so the bigger fish can eat birds, and I don't know. Just the fountain of life is algae. And the red one, astaxanthin, is the one we should be seeking, but even a lot of those blue-green algae, they're the fountain of youth. Yeah. Alright. I should probably stop ranting because I got bugger all memory left on this stupid phone again. But anyway. Oh, hang on. No, it's a smartphone. Even though it's stupid. I'll talk to you next time. Love ya.